Welcome to episode 10 of our Road to 1500 on chess.com. Can't quite believe we've already recorded 10 episodes already. We're going to play a game of 1510. We're on 1181 at the moment. Let's see who we're going to play today. Let's look for an opponent. We are playing an 1167 Imanaz. We're going to play pawn to c6 from Iran. We had a win in our last game. Just want to play some solid chess, play some positive chess, see if we can win. They're already playing quite a strange move. It's like they're trying to deny me from playing. So in this situation now, by moving my pawn up here, I block in the bishop, which isn't ideal. If I move this to here, they'll probably just take. It's already quite a strange move. I might just do this anyway. If they en passant, I can take here. Do they know how to en passant? Probably at this level, I would guess. But we're gonna look to sort of go for that Caro-Kann structure if we can. Already my opponent sort of played a move that's quite out of the ordinary, and it's kind of immediately got me out of prep. So when we do the analysis, we can see what's the best response to that. That's something I should learn. I don't recall that being played very often. Okay. So in this situation, I think what we can do is play the advance. So it's kind of transposing into the advance as opposed to the exchange of the Caro-Kann. So this at least is sort of heading into more familiar territory. We did a few puzzles before we started the game today and did fairly well in those puzzles, which is always a good sign. I think it's a good habit to get into, to go through a few puzzles before you play a game of Rapid. Okay, so they bring the pawn out, that's good. I think what we do in this situation is we bring our knight to c6. Now, I'm hoping they bring the knight out to f3. If they do that, we will bring our bishop to g4. Okay, they don't do that. They're pinning the knight. So I could protect this way. I can always ask them what's up here. I could block in my bishop at this stage. I could bring my bishop to here. I'm actually gonna ask them what's going on with this bishop, see whether they want it. They do. I think in principle, now I'm not 100% sure whether that was the right sort of book move as part of my opening prep for the Caro-Kann, but having a bishop for a knight, sort of giving them the knight for getting a bishop's not bad. Let's see if they bring the knight out now. There wasn't really anywhere for my bishop to go, so perhaps I could have played this move. Generally, taking straight away isn't necessarily great. Should have probably waited for them to take me first. Oh no, what? Actually, they did take me. Sorry, I asked them. I moved my pawn to a6, so I don't think it was a terrible move. My opponent's thinking I would like to try and get my bishop out, but we'll see. Okay, they decided to take. There's not really anywhere for my bishop to go, so I could bring my bishop here and they could just attack it. That could be something that they do. So I think, but I could bring it here if they try to attack it. I could bring queen here. I think I'm going to leave it at home. I'm going to immediately attack this pawn. So in the advanced, my understanding is we're targeting this square, which actually doesn't have a pawn on. So you can see that this pawn is weak, this pawn is weak already. We don't want them to somehow get a pawn to this square. We're looking to focus on weaknesses in their structure. Okay, so they've just brought, they're doing this, which I don't think is great, but they're doing this to protect this pawn. I need to bring my knight out, so I need to get my knight here, bring my bishop out and actually get castled. So that's my next sort of priority. And then we can actually start to think about targeting some of these weaknesses. So this pawn is particularly weak. They don't actually have a pawn on this square, so that's sort of partly a success so far. Okay, so they're now protecting this pawn. I think I will go ahead and move my knight to this square. They can't bring this knight here because I will take it. I don't really want them to take that. That'll weaken my pawn structure. And if I take them, they can bring this pawn here, which is not ideal. Okay, that leaves me with a few. I mean, I could, okay, bringing the knight there is not a good move. If I bring the knight here, they could just attack it. I don't think it leaves me too much of an option. I think I'm going to have to take, and it strengthens their center if they take with the pawn. It leaves a backwards pawn here, which we can target. I don't think we have too much choice. It's not what I want to do. I don't want them to get a pawn to d4. But we'll see. They might take with a queen. No, they did. So that's good for them. I am going to bring my bishop here. So their structure is good. I can attack this pawn here. Maybe I should have done that first. Maybe castling wasn't the right thing to prioritize. I could target here, but I suppose they can just then push and then I take. Actually, I would be able to take and then take it. I think actually my next move, I might push the pawn, because if they push here, I can just come in with check and then pick up the pawn. But they may castle. If they castle, then maybe we castle as well. Okay, I mean, I think we need to castle. They might just bring this down here. Actually, I'll just, yeah. Oh, I shouldn't have done that straight away. So now we're going to miss a rook, lose a rook. Yeah. Okay. So what can we do? Ah, damn. I don't think we have much choice. We have to push and then we lose a rook. So our opponent is an exchange up and they're a pawn up as well. Yeah, I mean, that's checkmate. If we bring our bishop here, they can just take it and we can't take back. Yeah, I think we have to. I don't think we have a choice. I think we have to lose the rook. I'm actually going to take with the bishop just to protect this square here. Okay. Okay, let's target this weakness, this weak pawn here with our rook. Right, push. So we brought our rook over so that, you know, if they push, we push. If they take, we can take with the queen, and our queen becomes active. Our weakness, our main weakness on our pawn structure is here. Look, it's not over. Our opponent might make a mistake. We might be able to actually fight back a bit. We're an exchange down and a pawn down, so we need to try to win a pawn. Even up on the pawns and then try to attack a weak pawn. This file, this B file that we're on at the moment, we're trying to open up. Okay, so we're going to just take that with our queen. Now we could move our queen here, attacking this, and that puts pressure on this and this. Oh no, actually, that'd be really silly, wouldn't it? So they'd just take me with the knight, so that's just not a move. Okay, so we could bring our rook up to here and attack this. Do we want, I don't think we want to exchange off our other rook. That would probably be a bad idea at this stage. Okay, we could bring our bishop here, and then we could think about bringing our bishop here, which then covers this square. Our bishop could find a home on this square here, potentially, where it would be safe. Let's bring the bishop out. They could bring the knight here. Okay, they've connected their rooks now. I'm tempted to attack it with the bishop. Attack this rook, this knight. I mean, they could bring this pawn down here, but that does weaken the king. You know, we need to do some work with these bishops. We've got 2 bishops. They don't have any bishops. Okay, so what can we do? Okay, that's a pretty good move. As I say, I can bring this bishop. I can bring this bishop here. It does protect this square. I mean, they might try and bring the knight in or something. I'm gonna have to be careful of that. I can always bring this back in here to protect. We're attacking this pawn. Okay, we've got a little bit behind on time now. We're on 7:54. Our opponent's on 8:54 now. We need to review what happened there with the having to exchange off the rook. We should have planned better for that. Would we have been able to move that rook before they could have had that attack on our king? Would we have been able to move the rook in time so that when we moved this pawn to g6, they weren't able to take a rook? That could be that's one thing we need to analyse. Okay, they're just attacking us now. So if we move, I could step up. If I step the king up, I protect it. If they bring this knight in here, hang on. If I move this back and they move this here, they've then got checkmate here, right? So I don't think I can let that knight to here. I think I'm going to have to move my king up. Now, they could bring their queen in here, which could be a bit of a problem for me. If they do that, I might need to bring the queen back. They can't take that pawn. Now, I can attack both these pieces here with the bishop. Right. Okay. I think I have to move here, because if I move there, they can come in here. Fair enough. Okay. Okay, I think I can skewer these two pieces, fork these two pieces. Let's do it. Guessing they'll move the rook. I can attack the queen here. I think I need to get rid of this knight. He's too strong. If the knight gets to here, they can play that checkmate down here, which I was saying. Okay, that's okay, because I can just attack the queen. Now this knight can't come to this square. I'm now threatening their queen and the rook. So they're going to lose one of those. Time's evening up. Just stay in the game. I'm guessing they might sort of bring their queen in here, which is really scary, but having the queen so far into my territory. I suppose if they do move the queen there, I could just attack it again. If I attack it again, they could move it to here and attack this pawn, which is undefended, which wouldn't be ideal. They could retreat it here, the queen. They obviously can't move it here. So it's basically there or there. Okay, so I think they've missed. So hang on. So if I take the queen, right, they're going to come down with check. I can then move up here. They then come here trying to get the other one down. But I can take this. Surely I take the queen. I know I'm in danger of getting trapped here. Hang on. Check, down. Oh, hang on. Yeah, and then check. And I can't go up there because it would be check. Hang on. Oh no. Check, take. Hang on. Check, take. Or check, take. I can block with the I think I'm all right. And then I can move up. I don't think they calculated that. Heart's beating a bit now. Oh. probably move this here. I can take this. I think I need to step my king up. I can actually attacking this pawn helps me a lot because it gives my king an escape route. So I think taking this pawn is probably quite an important priority because I can't go to these squares with the king, which is one of my big issues at the moment. Okay, so they're going to attack that, but what can I do if I come here, check, sorry, not check, is it? Take, come up here and attack this. Let's just do that. I know they're going to come in and take this. That's giving me my escape route. I can attack this rook. It then needs to move. Right, let's attack this rook. Okay, take, and then we're threatening check. I could take this passed pawn. Take. I think I just got to go for the checks. Check. Yeah, check. He has to, actually he can block with the knight. Check. Block. What if he blocks with the knight? I just have to attack it. Actually, if he attacks with the knight, I just bring the bishop here. Okay, now I can pick up your rook. Now I'm threatening this. It's pinned and you can't move there with the king. Our bishop's been doing some work here, guys. And our opponent has resigned. Wow. We're up to 1189. That's +8. Let's have a look at the game review. My heart's beating. It was a 77.8 for us and a 65.9 for our opponent. We were in some trouble in that game, and it's a lesson that you never give up. We played a 1500 rated game. Our opponent played an 850, so they didn't play a brilliant game. Nevertheless, well, they made 2 blunders. We didn't make any blunders. We made 2 mistakes and 3 inaccuracies. 2 great moves, 11 best moves. We played all right. As I say, it was a 1500 rating. Let's start the review. So our opponent played e4. We went for the Caro-Kann. They did this. That was good. The best move was to just move 1 up. So let's just have a look at what they suggested. Move up. Okay. I'm not sure whether our opponent, they may not have taken. Sorry, they may have actually taken. And I wasn't too keen on opening up the E file, but our opponent then played this and we moved into, it transposed into the advanced. We played the book move and then they pinned us. Actually, that was an inaccuracy. We could have brought our queen up. I've seen this before and I should remember it, but I'm trying not to sort of bring my queen out too quickly. But this is often a tactic that I've seen actually where the engine recommends bringing the queen out to attack the bishop. They played the best move. and we took. So our opponent is actually almost +1 now. Plus 1.1, so that was good. Pushing the a5 pawn was something they recommended earlier. They were still recommending pushing a5. We started to develop our knight. Actually, they suggested bringing the knight to that square. Okay, so that's kind of key, because if our knight was on this square, then it would have protected what was to follow later. So by playing this inaccuracy, it's plus 2.28 to our opponent already. So that was an inaccuracy. We played the best move. It's plus 1.4. They then actually got... See, I thought it was actually okay for them to get the pawn onto d4, because that gives them this sort of protected structure, and we want to attack that d4 pawn. Engine says take with the queen. We brought the bishop out, which was a mistake. Why is that a mistake? Yeah, I mean, our king's looking very exposed there. It's interesting how that's considered a mistake, plus 1.191 to our opponent. They brought their queen out, which is an inaccuracy. Okay, so this is a lesson learned here, because we're setting ourselves up for what was to follow, and I kind of knew what was coming. But in this situation, the best move was to just push the a5 pawn. And let's just have a look at the follow-up. So we push there, they take, we move the king up. So we need to be considering these things. This seemed really scary to me, because, you know, this pawn is hanging. They obviously can't take this because we'll take them, but I was a bit scared to go into that. Castling was bad. This was then the great move. We saw this. That was our best move. So in that situation, there wasn't anything else we could do, right? So actually in this situation, having then played that, we should have been prepared to not castle this side and bring our king this way and continue the pawn push here in order to open up some lines on this side. So that was a mistake. Our opponent played a great move and we had to give it away in exchange. We took with the bishop. It actually said best was to take with the king. My plan, thoughts were take with the bishop. The bishop offers some protection here and here. It gives us a bit of protection on our weak dark squares. So that was my thinking. They castled. We brought the rook over to attack. That was the best move from our opponent to protect that pawn. Our opponent is plus 3.31 at this stage. Okay, so we're in a tough situation. We took with the queen, get our queen active. They brought their rook out, which is excellent. It's plus 2.77. This is the best move. I'm pleased with that. They brought the knight out. This is an excellent move. So again, we realised we really needed to utilise our bishops. Our opponent doesn't have any bishops. So it's about making the absolute best out of those bishops. We could have actually moved our bishop. So we brought it to this position here knowing that it couldn't be taken by a pawn. So it's quite strong and, you know, causing a bit of trouble on this diagonal. However, we could have forked these two pieces at this stage, which would have been good, but they probably would have just moved the rook. And if we take the knight, then we lose it, and they They take back with the queen. Okay, so they attack us. Nice. This is good. We stepped up the king. That was the best move. Opponent's plus 3.4, but we got the right move there. That was best. Moving down was best. We calculated that, you know, if we'd moved here, then we'd be in trouble because they could just come in with check. We'd have to move the king out, and then they'd have our rook. Okay, so we're in some real danger here. We could have just lost the game, but we didn't. We kept our composure. This was an inaccuracy. It's a very committal move. They're really opening up their king. It's brought them down to plus 2.29. And at this stage, this was good. Almost plus 3 for opponent. And our opponent pushes the pawn again, which is their blunder. So we said earlier when we were playing the game, maybe our opponent will make a mistake, and this is the mistake. Okay, they've made quite a serious mistake here, and now it's only plus 0.32. Okay, so the game is evened right up. Do we find the right move? We do. We find the great move, which is to attack the queen. So we're now attacking the queen, and we're attacking the rook here. They then bring this rook over here, and that's a blunder. So they've made 2 mistakes in a row after playing a really quite good game up for the first 10 minutes of the game. They've now made 2 blunders in a row. Now, I was concerned about this because I was calculating, like, if I take and they take back, well, we could be in trouble because our king wouldn't have a space. If they get a pawn to here, our king can't move up, okay? And if they get us in check down here, then that's checkmate. But they miscalculated it, and we took the queen with the best move. They then had to take with the rook, but I'm almost 3 points ahead now in material, even though it's only plus 1. They've got my 2 rooks and my 2 knights, but I've got their queen, 2 bishops, and a knight. I'm plus 1. And then I find the best move, which is to bring the bishop down. So it's this sequence that really turned the game right around for me. Now they moved the knight up, which was an inaccuracy. I stepped the king up, which is considered to be good. The best move would be to come back here to basically begin, mounting more pressure on their king. They go after my backwards pawn. I play an excellent move. I just wanted to make sure I had an escape square here just in case, and get rid of this pawn. And it gives me some attacking ideas on the king this side as well. So we're now plus 4.5. That was a mistake by our opponent. I'm now plus 7. And I find a great move, which is to bring my queen up. My thinking here is I'm attacking this pawn and I'm attacking this rook. So what are you going to do? They move the rook. Oh, right, okay. We had a much quicker mate. We had a mate in 3. So rather than taking this pawn, we could have brought the queen to here, ready to actually do checkmate here. They would have then had to have brought the knight out, but we would have just been able to take it. I suppose they could have brought the knight here, but then we could have brought our bishop back here. And we would have been checkmating them probably quicker. We did that as an inaccuracy. It's still 6 points ahead. That was an inaccuracy from our opponent. We made the best move, which was check. This is what we calculated. Now they moved their king. I calculated it would have been better for them to move their knight. Now this gives me the opportunity, and I calculated this in my head, to play this move. I was just keen to get rid of any material that they've got. I could have got them in mate quicker. They move the king, I just take their rook, and our opponent resigns. We were going to be in a position to play check here and take the knight, and we have, you know, bishops doing work. We could bring our bishop back here and quite easily got them in checkmate. So it's a win for episode 10. Pleased about that. We're up to 1189, so we're knocking on the door of 1200. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers. Bye.